Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and look at number 2. We have the same directions here. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line that passes through the 2 given points. Use the first point to write the equation. So again, just how we started the other one, I'm gonna write down a few things that we need. I'm gonna go ahead and write down y equals mx plus b. This is our equation for slope-intercept form. So we know that our final answer will need to be in this form. I'm also gonna go ahead and write down the 2 other formulas that we're gonna need to solve this problem. The first one being slope formula. Which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, m is just going to represent our slope. The second formula that we'll be using to solve these problems is going to be our point slope formula. This formula is just going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to label what we know with our given points. We have 9, negative 2, and we have negative 3, comma 2. I'm going to go ahead and label this as our x1 and our y1, x2 and our y2. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and find our slope. Remember, we're using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'll come over here and I'll say m equals our y2, we see that it's a 2, minus our y1 is a negative 2. Don't forget about your signs. We're subtracting by a negative 2 over x2, which is negative 3, minus 9. If we solve this, 2 minus negative 2, we know that a negative and a negative becomes a positive. So that really becomes 2 plus 2, which is just a positive 4, over a negative 3 minus 9 is going to give us a negative 12. If we reduce this, we'll be left with, we can divide both sides by 4, we'll be left with a negative 1/3. Again, do not forget your signs. So we know that our slope is a negative 1/3. We'll box that in so we can use it later. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to try doing our point slope formula with what we have. So again, our instructions say use the first points to write the equation. So we're going to be using 9 and negative 2. So if I fill in what we know, it's going to be y minus a negative 2, don't forget your signs, equals m, we found our m. We know it's a negative 1/3, times x minus our x1 is 9. Again, we're not finished because we want to get it into y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. So we're going to go ahead and work this out a little bit. We have y minus negative 2. Again, we know that 2 negatives are going to make a positive. So we're left with y plus 2 equals this negative 1/3. We're going to go ahead and distribute and multiply. A negative 1/3 times x and a negative 1/3 times a negative 9. Negative 1/3 times x is just going to give us our negative 1/3 x. Negative 1/3 times negative 9, negative and negative, is going to give us a positive. Negative 1 times negative 9 is going to be positive 9, over 3. If we work this out, we know 9 over 3 just reduces into a 3. So we're left with y plus 2 equals negative 1/3 x plus 3. Again, we're not done because this isn't quite in our slope-intercept form. So I know that I'm going to subtract my 2 from both sides to isolate our y. If we do that, positive 2 minus 2 cancels out. We're left with y equals negative 1/3 x. 3 minus 2 is going to give us a positive 1 plus 1. We now have our equation of our line with our slope of negative 1/3 that passes through these points.